Guys, you want to know what's wrong with the watch world right now, the watch community? You can tell I'm a little bit on edge right now because I just realized we are enablers, okay? We enable each other's terrible, terrible addictions, and we're not helping each other out at all, okay? Every time I tell you guys, hey, I really like this kind of watch, you always tell me about another watch, and then I take a look at it and I want it. All right, and right now I'm telling you, I really like field watches. Like for the past year, I've had a fetish for field watches, and instead of helping me quell this desire, every time I review a field watch, you're like, hey, that's nice T3, but what about this one? And so I take a look and then I want it and I get it and I review it and you guys are like, hey, that's nice T3, but what about this one? And then I like it and then I want it, so I get it and then I review it and you guys are like, hey, that's nice, but what about this one? And then I like it, and I get it, and then I review it, and you guys are like, well, what about this one? And then what about this one? And then what about this one? I wish it would stop, okay? My toupee is gonna come flying off one of these days. Okay, well, one of those watches you guys have been asking me to take a look at, and again, this watch that I have with me today has been mentioned in almost every one of my live streams for the past month. The watch is actually from my hometown. Kind of crazy, right? Well, you guys know I was raised in New England, okay? I lived there for about 20 years, but I wasn't born there. That's right, I was actually born here in Los Angeles. And the watch that I have with me today is another Cali native. It's 3 o'clock p.m. on the button. Let's get down to business. That's right, guys, this VAER Heritage Field Watch is assembled here in Los Angeles. Very, very cool, kind of repping SoCal there. So let's go ahead and take a look at the spec sheet and then I'll tell you what I think about it overall. So guys, this watch has got really good field watch specs and dimensions. It's 40 millimeters around and only 9.4 millimeters thick. So again, very low profile, and that's kind of what you want from a field watch. This VAER has got a 100 meter water resistance rating and a threaded crown. This watch has got a sapphire crystal and it's powered by a Swiss Ronda quartz 715 movement. And yes, it's quartz. I know a bunch of you guys don't like quartz. So okay, let's go ahead and put this VAER Heritage on the wrist and I'll tell you what I think. We're gonna go ahead and take off my Seiko SSC 081 solar chronograph compass. This is a really cool kind of fieldy field watch. You got a rotating compass, solar powered chronograph, date complication, incredible lume, but enough about this watch. We're gonna be talking about the Heritage today. Okay, so right off the bat, there's a bit of an issue. Not really technical difficulties, this might be unique to me, but it is a bit troublesome. Guys, you know that I am very, very picky about my NATO straps, okay? And this is a perfect example of why. This is the first issue I have with the VAER Heritage, and it has to do with the NATO strap out of the box. So guys, take a look, okay? I have 7.5 inch wrists, and one of the issues that I find with NATO straps is they are kind of an awkward length where I can't really tuck the excess material back, and I end up having to cut it, okay, because there's enough excess material to kind of flap about, but there's not enough to tuck under the keeper, so you end up snipping it, and then it kind of defeats the purpose of wearing a NATO strap because you sometimes do want that excess material. So here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna take off this NATO strap and we're going to replace it with a black 2-piece wrist candy watch club NATO strap that is the proper length for my wrists. You guys ever seen how to remove a NATO strap? Beyblade. Okay, so take a look. See all that excess material? I can tuck that back nice and tidy beneath both keepers. It looks nice and proper, and it won't get in the way, and I won't have to cut the NATO. Okay, so back to the watch. Being the Heritage model, this watch has got kind of more of an old school military aesthetic. Nothing's too edgy or modern in design. The case is very smooth. I like how the case kind of just flows into these slender lugs. Very, very comfortable and nice. And when you're looking at it from a profile, it's very, very low profile, and the bezel just kind of flows over the sapphire crystal, very, very flat. And again, that is what you want from a field watch. Nothing's gonna get too hung up on anything, and nothing to kind of bump up against. Now guys, along with the NATO straps, the hands I am very, very picky about. When I look at watches, especially micro brands, I wanna see what hands they're using. And these hands, very big, very bold, very sturdy. And in classic field watch fashion, the watch is very, very legible, very easy to read, nothing mucking up the dial, except for one thing, the date complication. Guys, again, NATO straps, hands, date complications. Very, very, very picky about these things. I'm picky about a lot of things, but let's just talk about the date for a second. You guys know the date complication is one of my favorite complications because it is the most useful function that you will probably use daily, right? You're not going to use a moon phase daily. You might not even use a chronograph daily, but a date you will use daily. I rarely ever forget what the day is. Like, I know today is Monday, but I find myself very often forgetting the date. So date complication, very, very functional, very useful, but on a field watch, I kind of just want it to be clean and, you know, black dial, big bold indexes. I don't want a date window there. They chose to put one at the 3 o'clock, better than the 4 o'clock, but still, I don't know. I don't want it on this dial. Let me know what you think. Leave me a comment. Do you agree? Do you disagree? I'd love to hear from you. Now, speaking of functionality, this watch does have a 100-meter water resistance rating and a threaded crown. And the crown has some really, really nice knurling, and it's quite smooth, so you won't have any trouble unthreading that baby. Very, very nice. And it being a quartz, you know, it's very easy to wear. You don't really feel it on your wrist, very light, but it feels solid at the same time. You know, stainless steel case, threaded crown, nothing feels hollow. It feels like a proper watch. So guys, overall, I really do like the functionality of this VAER Heritage. You know, 100-meter water resistance rating with a threaded crown and some really good knurling, sapphire crystal, some decent lume. You are getting a date function. We'll talk a little bit more about that in a second. And overall, you know, Swiss quartz Ronda movement, not a whole lot of moving parts. So if you do want to wear this out and about and give it a good knock, there's not a lot to get messed up in here. So pretty fun, very wearable watch. And I personally really like that they're repping Los Angeles. Now, are there things I would change? Yes. Again, date complication, I do like the functionality. I wish that it just wasn't on this watch. And the straps, I wish it came with different NATO straps that were, I don't know, big enough for the big boys. Dang! But I know those criticisms are kind of personal preference, but it wouldn't be a review if I didn't tell you exactly how I felt. So guys, I think it's a solid, fun, different field watch that you could have. That's right, I'm giving this watch away to one of you lucky viewers because I want to celebrate and thank you for getting me past 70,000 subscribers, guys. This is a metric I never thought I would attain, guys. 70,000 of you like my content enough to hit that subscribe button, and that means the world to me, so I want to give this watch away to you. All you gotta do is subscribe to this channel if you haven't already, and subscribe to my other channel, the Time Away channel, where I talk about some of my other hobbies, some of my other interests, and I want you to comment on the latest episode over there and tell me what you want to see on that channel. So guys, once you subscribe over here, if you haven't already, and once you subscribe over there and leave me a comment on one of my episodes over there, I will pick one of the winners at the end of May. So guys, again, thank you so much. I would never have heard about this company without you guys in my comment section on my live streams telling me to check it out. So it's thanks to you that I make this content. And again, I make this content for you. So guys, subscribe over here, subscribe over there, leave me a comment over there, leave me a comment over here, and you could win the VAER Heritage Field Watch. So guys, you've already done enough by subscribing. Honestly, 70,000 subscribers. You've supported me so much, but if you want to go above and beyond, you can click the link in the description below and shop at the Time Teller shop. Watches, watch accessories, everything you need. Go ahead, click that link and help the channel out. But again, guys, 70,000! 70,000! 100,000, I'm coming for you. So click that subscribe button, click the bell icon, comment, like, share this video. Man, I seriously, thank you guys. Thank you guys, thank you guys. And again, you could win the watch, so enter the contest. Do it. I'm Jory Goodman, the Time Teller, and always remember, I didn't invent time. I just tell it. Real quick, if you enjoyed this episode, then do not worry, the fun doesn't need to stop here. Check out these recommended episodes that are going to be popping up on the screen anytime now. Also, take a moment, check out my brand new channel, the Time Away channel. It's where I talk about everything outside of the watch world, some of my other collections, some of my other hobbies. And if you're not interested in any of that, don't worry, just stay right here and I will see you right here. Because I never leave. I am trapped inside of this camera. This is a good watch to wear if you're going out and about in some, I don't know, maybe precarious